Howdy, partner.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how you doing?
Good.
Good to see you.
You too.
Get my lights on here. How's your day going?
Good. I love taking Wednesdays off.
You have the whole day off. You don't have any clients.
Mm-mm.
That's nice. So
No,
you need to get stuff done and
yeah, it's my get stuff done day and took the dog for a nice 2 mile walk and just it's gorgeous here. It's a beautiful sunny day and it's a nice reset in the middle of the day.
nice. Where are
So,
you at?
Bryson City, North Carolina. So we're in the western part of the state.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you know Lindsay Vestola?
I do not.
So Lindsay, she owned a gym in New Jersey. Does a
Yep.
lot with FAI. She was the host of the summit like 2 years ago.
Okay.
And she's an author, she's a mentor, all that. She's moving there right now, like literally is in action of driving right to where you're at.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So she's got a family member there. I think she said her in-laws. I was just texting her this morning. She posted like a picture of them leaving the bridge in Jersey, and she's like, off to our new place. So I text, I'm like, what are you doing? And she goes, we're moving to Bryson, Carolina, or North Carolina, right?
Yep.
Yep. So I'm just like, okay. She goes, oh, we got family there, this and that. So as soon as you said it, I'm like, are you fucking with me? Did you just see the see her post? Like, that's the weirdest shit. That just you guys just happen to pick it.
Oh
So
my God.
yeah. So she'll maybe someday you guys, you know, two pros in the same area. I'm
That
sure
would
you'll
be
end up
amazing.
seeing
Yeah, I'll
each
have to
other at
reach
an
out
event
to
or
her.
something. She's awesome. She's a great person, and she's spoken. You've probably seen at events that she's spoken at. You're just not familiar with her name, but
Right.
she presents all over the place from
Okay.
FAI, NSCA. She does a lot with FBA now, the Fitness Business
Okay.
Association. They used
Okay.
to
Yep.
be AFS or whatever.
Yep.
So yeah, does a lot with them, but
Okay.
she's great. So.
Awesome.
So give me a little bit on your business and how many clients you have, how often you see people, like just kind of give me a little review of you and a snapshot. I'm gonna just take notes and kind of
Sure.
get a little good glimpse of where you're at, and then we can kind of talk about movements going forward on what to do to help you take it to some next levels.
Okay. So I don't have, like I said, I don't have my own space. I kind of split space between my husband's back or bike shop, and I train a couple people there in the morning. And the only reason I'm doing that now is because at the gym in the space that I trained up there, they have classes. So I kind of do a couple people early in the morning at the bike shop, and then they open at 10, and then I move up to the gym. Classes are done there, and then I can use the training space for the rest of the day. And by training space, it's a 30 by 30 empty room where they hold classes. So there's like literally nothing in there.
I see.
So, but I've been able to use it. I have a toolbox and I load up all my bands and all the stuff and I put it in the car and I drive it up to the gym and I unload all my stuff and they've got I use some door anchors and we just do the stuff there. So it works out great.
Nice.
Um, I have somewhere anywhere between like 21 and 23 clients,
Okay.
and that's split between people that see me once a week for half an hour, all the way up to a range of 4 days a week, 2 half hours, 2 hours. So
Gotcha.
um, it kind of ranges. Mostly half hours. I only have a couple of people that I do hour sessions with, and that's because when they do go to the gym and work out, they're accustomed to working out for an hour, so they don't feel like they've accomplished anything unless they have an hour session. But I think
Yeah.
I have like three people like that.
Okay.
Hopefully everybody else is half an hour because that's essentially what they can tolerate. After about half an hour, they're kind of like, oh wow, I'm glad I wasn't here for an hour. So
Yeah. Yeah.
you kind of
Gotcha.
maximize that time.
And
Um,
all these folks come to you. You're not going to anyone's house or anything. Okay, copy
nope,
that.
it's all been
Good,
coming to me.
good.
And I've had some of the people are going on 3 years.
3 years. Excellent.
Yep, yep, yep. So it's been good. It's been steady. Like I said, I was able to work through COVID the whole time. Everybody was super comfortable with working with me at my husband's bike shop because yoga classes were canceled and they weren't open very often. And people were like, "I'm good to keep working if you want to keep training." So we didn't skip a beat. So and I
Good.
doubled my income over COVID.
That's so nice. That's so
It's,
nice to hear.
and I just was fortunate because I kind of was in a gray area because I wasn't a studio and I wasn't a
Yeah.
gym. So I really had nothing to close. It was kind of a, let's just kind of keep this going. And
Yeah.
people that wanted to keep working just wanted
Well,
to
even
keep
on
working.
even
So
on paper, like I think all the states were allowed to keep one-on-one therapy session type stuff, and like
yeah,
California, we were so strict. They were literally driving around, waiting to see places that were open, and then they would board up your place and give you a fine, and
right.
like it was so dumb here. It was like to the next level ridiculous. So I'm so
Yeah.
glad. It makes me happy to hear you were able to stay.
Yeah, and we just
Really
stayed under
good.
the radar, and I would have, like I said, we would have found some kind of a little bit of a loophole, if it was like not quite physical therapy, but kind of sorta, and it was
Mhm.
for mental health and well-being. Like there were, you needed to exercise to stay healthy, and they wanted you to do that. And so I said, if anybody ever came knocking on the door, we'd find a something, whether it was a doctor's note or whatever it happened to be,
Gotcha.
we'd figure it out. But
Good.
so very fortunate
Good.
that I was able to keep going and staying busy, and it was good, 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 good. That's kind of me in a nutshell, really.
And then how many hours? These are all one-on-ones. Do you train anybody in pairs or groups or anything?
Well, I do now. I just started training a married couple
Good.
as of last week.
Good.
They just had celebrated their 55th wedding anniversary and came to me for
Woo.
a consult, and wanted to start working out together. So, and it actually, I wasn't sure how it was going to work because I've never done it before, but they're very compatible. So
Hmm.
there's not a lot of like, they're not super like frail. I don't have to worry about somebody falling over. They're pretty good
Good.
about giving instruction. I can stand in a space where I can see both of them and kind of walk to one and walk to the other, hook them up on one door. You're over here. We kind of go back and forth, and it's working great. And like I said, they've been with me for 3 sessions, and they already can tell like a difference
Improvement.
in posture and just all kinds of different stuff. So I just started them from, bridges on the floor, and then the loaded bridges, and then
Yeah.
doing this, and then we're doing our rows, and we're doing our stuff, and they love it. So, and
Perfect.
they've got a bunch of travel and a bunch of different trips on and off
Hmm.
coming up over the course of the summer and into the fall. So they're just excited to be able to keep doing this and be able to keep going on their trips and just feeling
Good.
better. So
Good.
yeah.
Do you have any? Are you comfortable doing online training?
I haven't done online training. I don't love doing online training. I did do a little bit of it over COVID because I had a few clients that just were not ready to come in person. I think it was more, we just made do with what they had, and it was not ideal. Like it wasn't, here, go buy this equipment. And like there were
Right.
people that were working out in their office between their couch and the window, and we had like this much space, and it's like she had like 2 dumbbells and some mini bands, and I was like, okay, we're gonna have to get creative with this,
Yeah.
and
No kidding.
when she came back to work with me in person, she's like, oh my god, this is so much better. I was like, of course it's so much better, and like
Nice to have
at
gear.
one point
Yeah.
she was like, something happened with her back, and I'm just like, it is so hard because I can't see clearly, what exactly you're doing, or
Yeah.
when you don't have the camera exactly where I can see it, if you bent over the wrong way, and so it was just challenging. And then one lady in her kitchen, and she had 5 mini schnauzers, and she's trying to work out with like, and her family's walking, and I was like, oh my god, you people are killing me. So it was not the ideal situation. We did what we had to do to just kind of keep them going,
Gotcha.
but it wasn't like, there was
Okay.
no dedicated space, no dedicated equipment, no like setup. And then I kept seeing your stuff, and I was like, oh, in my dreams would that happen? But everybody was like, we're just trying to get through until we can come back to you. And I was like, okay,
Exactly.
this really
No,
sucks.
I'm just thinking for those clients that go on vacation, kind of a thing. If you had, a door anchor, 3 bands, pair of handles, and a set of mini bands, for like $100 that you could sell them, that they could take with them, and you could log in, and they could either just kind of observe, while you're training with another group, and you can coach the screen and coach them, or you just do a private session with them online, and that way they're still. I get clients go on vacation for 3 weeks and they come back and it's like starting over a lot of times.
Yep.
So there's an option to do something like that,
Hmm.
or to just have either a private YouTube page or a website that's kind of membership guarded that
Right.
you could post workouts for them to do while they're on their trips, you know,
Right. And
with
I
basic
can
equipment.
ask if these people that are the couple that I have are coming in tomorrow, and I can ask them if they'd be open to that, because
Yeah,
what I've been doing for a lot of my clients is sending them their workout, but then recording a video to accompany their workout. So then that way, and then I can give all the cueing and demonstrating and stuff. And
perfect.
that way, when they're looking at it, and it's the workout that they had just done with me, and they
Hmm.
want to keep doing it at home. And then they're like, I don't remember what that was or how we did that. And they have that as a refresher so they can then build their
That's perfect.
library. And because I charge, I'll just tell you, so I had worked with a business coach last year and he helped me do up some of my pricing. So my half hour people pay, mostly it's a monthly recurring. So if you're with me for a half an hour session once a week, it's $210 a month. So that accounts for if it's a 4-week month or a 5-week month. And then I have some past clients that are sort of grandfathered in, and they pay 25 for a half hour, like per session. It's a weird structure. I need to get everybody on the same page, but
Hmm.
for their hour sessions, they pay 45. And for new people, if they were going to sign up for an hour, it would be 68 per session. So it breaks down to be 42 a session and 68 a session for the half hour for most of my new people.
Gotcha.
Or I just do a monthly recurring.
Almost like they're on retention, kind of like a retainer kind of a thing.
Right, yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah. So
really
they just
good.
give
Yeah.
me a check at the beginning of the month, and
Yep.
then if we need to reschedule it, roll it over into the next month, or however
I
it
like that. I switched to that model maybe 8 months ago,
happens.
and I really like that. I think my clients like it too. I give them a lot of options for online. So if they miss, they're like, I'm gonna miss Friday. I'm like, you got 8 workouts to do online. Almost everybody's got at least the band kit, if not a little bit more. So
Right.
they've got some setups where they can do some stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that's great. You get some reliable income, you know, and they get consistent coaching, and you know they're spot held kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So yep, I
Absolutely.
think that's good.
Absolutely. So
Right
that's
on.
kind of where we are with that. The pricing thing and stuff. At some point, I need to just roll everybody over to the same pricing. I just haven't done that yet.
Yeah, it's kind of tough, and I get it. Like I have some clients that they drive all the way up here, you know, to train, and they're paying $35 for an hour long workout, where new clients are paying 50.
Right.
And I'm like, you guys, you stuck with me all the way through COVID. You
Yep.
know, now you're driving, you know, 25, 30 minutes to get up here. Like I'm not going to bump them to that rate. But
Yeah.
that was their rate when we had 8 people in the
Right.
room. Now that I only have 3, you know, I charge more. But
Right.
I'm not going to do that to them. So,
Well, and that's the same. I've got a couple clients. One guy's been with me for almost 3 years. He also like lets us use his pontoon boat. He flies in fresh seafood for us.
oh
Like every
wow,
time he's placing an order from up north, like he gives us like cabins because he has a cabin rental company. He gives us like super discounts.
that's
So
a good
like
client to
his
keep.
rate's probably never going to change. He's
Yeah,
probably going to stay at this
yeah,
rate for life because and he gives me money at like Christmas time and different stuff. And so he's like one of those people I'm like, you're going to just, your rate's never going to change because you
yeah.
pay me in so many other ways that, you know,
That's awesome. That's so cool. That says something about what a good professional you are and how you're connecting to your people. Because not everyone I talk to tells me stories like that. Like I have some trainers that I'm working with, and they're like, yeah, I mean, because I asked, like, your clients like you, you know, and they're like, well, yeah, my average client stays about 6 months or so, and I'm like, you know, if they really liked you, they'd be there for years, and I would hear something along those lines. Like
right.
they gave me tickets to go see this show or a baseball game, and like, you know, you're in their circle of people that they want to
Yep.
take care of. So that definitely says a lot. But I'm
Yeah.
price wise, yeah, I would kind of keep like I don't really think you need to bump your older people up. Another business coach probably would tell you to, but I don't. I think keeping that relationship there is a
Yeah.
good thing. But new
Yeah.
people, be like, from this person on,
Yep.
all those folks are paying this new rate.
Yeah. And that's what I did. I
Good.
basically, anybody after you person kind of went up
Yep.
and some people vary. It's either a monthly recurring, or if they had to drop 2 sessions that month and they're only really going to get 3 that month instead of 5, then I'll just go, okay, then it's just per person for those, or per session for those 3 sessions,
Hmm.
because if I go out of town or you go out of town, it just makes it, and then they get a little bit of a discount out of it. And the recurring fee, the 210 recurring fee, because if people pay with credit card or PayPal or different things, it helps recoup some of those fees too for the processing, running it through Square and things like that. So it's kind of an
Gotcha.
extra little buffer to where I'm actually getting what I'm charging, as opposed to
Right.
I'm charging this, but I'm only getting this because,
All
these
the numbers are taken out. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Good for you.
So
That's excellent.
yeah, so the business coach that I had last year was a really good thing, because the main thing that he helped me do was set up my business to act like a business,
Hmm.
which it never did. So I had like, now I have like accounts set up to where I have a spreadsheet that's designed for like a profit account. So a certain percentage goes into a profit account, and that's my slush fund. That's my fun money to do family stuff, to, if I want to go get a manicure, or, you know, we want to pay for a vacation or whatever. So a percentage goes there first, and then I have my salary, my savings, and my expenses. And then that all kind of gets funneled there. So every week, whatever I've brought in gets plugged into that spreadsheet, and then I just send the money to those accounts so I can
Yes.
keep it running. And so that's worked really well. That was like revolutionary.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah. That was
Organization
huge.
is such a good key. So
Yeah.
that's fantastic.
Yeah. That was huge.
So goal wise, what are your thoughts on where you want things to go? Is we eventually want to build up enough clientele where you're going to kind of outgrow your space and eventually open your own?
That would be the ideal. And that's part of the reason I haven't really gone into the small group stuff, because I don't really have a set space, and I'm not set up ideally to run small groups. Like I'm not in the best situation. So ideally, and I keep talking to my husband about this, ideally in his bike shop, they rent that, and the back room that they have, part of it is storage. So there's a wall and a door. And we're going to talk to the landlord and see if we can bump out that wall, like tear it
Hmm.
down and like move it back, so that I can actually have dedicated space that does not interfere with his ability to run his business. So
Gotcha.
they wouldn't cross over. So then I could set up whatever I needed to set up in that space and have it. The nice thing about that is that I'm not having to pay for like insurance for a space and kind of all of the overhead. I'm
Hmm.
basically just paying him rent to use
Okay.
that space. So it's, for expense wise, it's like the most
It works
affordable
well.
option. And then we're all there. My daughter is working there with him a couple days a week. So it's kind of the family.
Family biz.
Yeah,
What?
instead of me trying to go to a whole separate building and
Yeah.
then incur, insurance, all the taxes, all the stuff. This is kind of the happy medium in between that.
What kind of bikes are we talking about? Are these like motorcycles or mountain bikes?
Mountain bikes.
Mountain bikes. Okay, copy.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you first said it, I'm envisioning like Hell's Angels, and then you're working out next to them. And the more you started talking about it, I'm like thinking it's more like mountain bikes.
Yeah, and the
Okay.
nice thing is that the back part of the space right now they just use to run their rentals out of, or to just like store bikes and stuff. So it's not their main space is up front where they have their bar. They sell beer, so you
Oh,
can have a beer while they're working on your bike, or you come back from a bike trip, sit at the bar and have a beer.
how
So
cool is that?
it's, it works out great. But I said I
Nice.
just need you to move the wall, bring it out, have my dedicated space, and then
How much room would that give you if they did that?
that would give me, I want to say, let's see, the yoga space at the gym is 30 by 30. It might be like 20 by 20.
Okay.
Like it's not a huge space, but for me to have 3 or 4 people in there, it would be perfect.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Because then I
So,
could put up the wall anchors and get some stuff, and then I
yeah.
wouldn't have to worry about like moving it, and you know, I wouldn't feel
What's
like such a vagabond.
what's keeping you guys from doing that?
So we just need to, Chris is never in a big hurry to do stuff. But I said we need to talk to the landlord to find out if he's okay with doing that. And he said he wants to wait until the off season, because right now they're in their peak season.
Hmm.
So they're crazy busy. So we're not going to be tearing down walls and having a
Doing
construction zone
construction.
in the middle of his
Gotcha.
business. That would be something that would happen in like December, January,
Okay.
when he can close down for a week or whatever, and we can blow it out. So I can't
Copy.
imagine it's going to be a problem, because it's not a load bearing wall.
Okay. Oh, that's good. Yeah, those can go pretty quick. And some of those projects, it's not a bad idea to talk to the landlord sooner, knowing that you
Yeah,
have to find a contractor, have them
yeah.
come and check, and get on the schedule and all that to have it.
My husband would do all the work.
Oh, he would. Okay.
He was in construction, so he literally he can do the whole thing himself. He
Perfect.
can rewire. He was an electrician. He can do all that, so we wouldn't have to
Nice.
hire anybody. Yeah.
You were married to a handyman.
No kidding.
That's really cool. That's very cool. Well,
Yeah.
that's even better coming to the landlord offering that, and no, they don't have to do anything. Yeah,
Not a
that'd be
thing.
great. So
Yeah.
if we were able to just almost like pack your schedule right now with as much as possible, when that is able to open and
Yeah.
expand, you'd be able to kind of branch that schedule out. Like the goal, the way that I see this, and you tell me if this is what you're envisioning too, is you work from 7 to 11 and then from 3 to 6 or whatever the schedule is. And if we fill every single one of those hours with one person or maybe two on some,
Right.
and then you get to dedicate your space, and you can take 3 or 4, you can take all your afternoon people and be like, we're all bumping up. I can basically work from 6 until noon and then I can be done. But
Right.
you don't lose people, you have all this.
Yep.
And then maybe eventually you have another person that you hire that does something very similar from 1 until 7 at night, but
Right.
you're at home chilling. And then
Right.
your little dedicated space is making you a profit while you're not there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Cool.
Absolutely. And that is ultimately the goal of getting to do that, because I really want the space and move people in and be able to do that, because I've taught yoga, I've taught spin, like I'm used to being with people, and having this couple working together has been a great like trial for me to get used to seeing both people and working with them and making sure everybody's getting what they need. So as I build that, then if I am with 3 or 4 people, then it's,
You're used to it.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's good. That, just like you were saying, that feeling of I get one of them going here while I'm doing with the other. Like I had Joyce here yesterday, the one I posted the video this morning. Her husband Dave joined for the first time yesterday.
Okay.
So he's been here for all 5 workouts, but he hasn't joined because he hasn't been well enough to join.
Right.
So yesterday I would have one of them on the tank, pushing the tank, while the other one was doing seated pulley rows.
Right.
Or something that I didn't have to worry about him falling over or losing his balance. While the more technical thing I was able to coach and be there,
Right.
and I could just kind of switch him out. So we just supersetted the whole day.
Right.
And we did rows in the tank, and then we did sit to stands and the pull down,
Yep.
and kind of worked our way through. That works really, really good when you have 2 people that are a little suspect or that you're worried about. As they get more independent, or you get 2 people that are very independent, then it just opens up to a whole new level, and you're like, piece of cake. When you get 2 capable, you don't have to stand next to one of them. Like it's so much more fun.
Yeah, and it was really fun, and these guys play off well to each other, and the nice thing is I told them, I said, okay, now that I have 2 of you in the room, I can't count your reps because you're over here at a different pace and you're over here, so I need you to know you're going to do 12 of them and you need to count them, otherwise you're going to be here all day doing it, because I'm going to go over here, make sure your wife is like,
they're talking about thinking about whatever, and they're 37, 38.
Yeah, so
like,
they've been really good about that. I was like, you guys are going to have to count, and they do, and they're like, okay, and we're done number 12 and this, and then I'm like, okay, and we for some stuff we were single setting, because like they were doing bridges on the floor and they were already down there, and he's 77 and she's 75. I said, well, let's take a little pause and let's just do your next set, because you're already on the ground. Let's just keep you here instead of up and down and stuff.
That's
so
good.
It's been really good. I'm really glad they signed up together, because it's given me an opportunity to work with more than one person. So
perfect. That's great. Well, I love the idea of the space. That's super exciting. I think
it's going to happen. I'm like a dog with a bone. I'm not letting go till I get it.
That's good. And the fact that you can have your husband, do that whole build out. If you did it over a weekend, it doesn't sound like it's a huge thing, but cleanliness and tarping it all off and all that, I think that's so cool. Something to work on as well is, this is like my favorite thing to do, is to create your want list of equipment and then your need list,
Yep.
And so that's something you could start to kind of put together now in over the next couple of weeks and months while you're thinking about it. Like,
Yep.
Things that I need. I need the anchors. I need 4 sets of bands at each anchor point. I need 4 sets of handles, yada yada. Things that
Yep.
I want. Someday I want the Tank M4. Put that on the list. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Someday I want a glute roller. Put that on the list.
Yep.
And just like you do with your budget, you were talking there, you start putting a little dedicated money there, and then all of a sudden you've got $300, and you're like, "What's on my list that I want?" That's 300, and you pull the trigger on that.
Yep, and that's what I've been doing, and that's how I've gotten the
Perfect.
bands, and I bought the anchors, and then I bought the inertia waves, and then my next thing that I want or slash need, I would love to get the landmine and get a couple of plates and get the landmine and be able to have that, because there's one at the gym, but it's not in the room that I use, and I can pick it up because it's just the lever one. So I mean, I can lift the plates off of it and put it in the room and use it. It's just not super ideal, and the gym owner, I don't know how she feels about me. Don't mind me. I'll be right back with the landmine.
Let me see if I can find this thing, because there's this one. Is that it? Key, do you remember what that was called? The landmine that was the ball that just sat on the ground. Remember that?
The ball that sat on
Yeah, I just hooked at the end of the bar, and the ball just hit. Is that it? No, that's an attachment. So somebody makes this. What was that called? Do you remember? Like it was a big, like a, I don't know, 6 or 8 inch like rubber ball that was flat on one side, and you hook it to the end of the bar, and the flat rubber part sits on the floor, and you just use it like a landmine, and the rubber part is just stuck on the ground.
Oh,
So
nice. Instead of using a post with plate.
You don't need all this stuff,
Nice.
These things are like 35 pounds, and you got to haul
Oh, no,
them all
I know.
over.
I get a workout when I have to lug that around and put it back in the
that
studio space.
Olympic landmine ball and attachment at NL Fit. Hammer sleeve landmine attachment Titan Fitness.
Okay, what is it? Read it to me.
Hammer sleeve landmine attachment. They're out of stock at Titan, but they also make one here. This company. Northern Light also makes one.
Yeah, this is the handle though.
No. Hammer sleeve landmine attachment Titan Fitness. Right here. This here.
Yeah, that's the handle.
No, that's the ball it is. So
That's the ball that goes on the floor?
yeah. See?
Oh, so it's a tiny ball.
Yeah, it's not big, and it just
Hey,
sits.
hold on, maybe you're right.
Yeah, I think this is just the handle. Like there's a different one. It's bigger.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. See, like this dude's doing here.
Yeah.
He's holding the ball. It just makes it's more comfortable to hold on to.
Sorry, my fault.
That's all right.
Same
But
idea,
it's just like that. But I remember it's bigger and it's rubber, because the rubber on rubber is what grips into the floor.
I see.
Yep.
And as soon as I saw it, I was like, "That's brilliant," because hauling all this other shit around is, especially for people that are moving about, like that was a whole different thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you could find it for me, that would be awesome. Thanks, though. And then just let me know, and I'll bump it back over here. But that would be a great addition, because you already have a bar.
No, I'd have to get the bar too, but that's
the Rogue bars. I've not found a better bar for the money. The Bella bar. I actually lift with a woman's bar because I prefer the Bella bar over the men's Ohio.
Okay.
Both are great. I don't have the biggest hands, but I also, with my wrist injury, getting my hands around a bigger bar is troublesome for me.
Yeah,
So
and I have clients with arthritic hands and stuff too that really, I've had people, when I was using it in the gym, have a really hard time gripping that.
Big ones, yeah. So it's like, if I have a men's bar here for my bigger guys if they need it, but I basically use that Bella bar for everything.
Okay.
And then they have 15-pound aluminum Bellas as well. So, and those are cheap. Those are like $100, cheap. But most aluminum bars are like 60. So theirs is 100, is pretty solid in durability. So if you had one of those and like one of the Bellas to go with something like this, then you're golden. It would work really well. Considering you're not going to be putting 245s on there and having people do like single arm jerks, you know,
Right.
I would probably say get something that's anchored. But like the design of this, if we can find
Go to
it.
other people's houses?
No, it's all
Okay.
in house there.
There's this thing here that you can attach to a wall. It's just a small little thing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool too. They have she was just found this one that's like it's almost like a flag post anchor to the wall.
Right.
And it's just a short landmine. It's like 4 inches of a sleeve you put the bar into, and it's
Okay.
literally that big. Yeah. So that looks pretty cool. So I'll send you over a link for that so
Okay.
you can take a
Yeah.
look at
'Cause
it.
that would be awesome to have just in the space to just anchor
Mhm.
that to the
Yeah,
wall.
it is nice to have a mobility option. So
Yeah.
I have 2 landmines that are attached to my rack there
Right.
down at the floor, but I
Yep.
also have 2 up on the shelf over here that
Okay.
I can pull out,
Yep.
and I can set it up, but I got to bring out the bumpers and all that other stuff.
Right.
So something like this I think could work pretty well for you. And then if you get to a point where you're like, hey, we're going to start putting some weight on here and doing some more, then maybe getting one that anchors would
Right.
be good. But it's been neat, like seeing our industry not only move into people's homes or into smaller spaces, but develop new equipment that will accommodate that. Has really
Absolutely.
been cool. And I'm just always on the search for like, oh, look at this new, this new piece or this new
Yeah.
version. And it's multifaceted. You could use it for different things, and it has good volume, good value
Yep.
to it. I wanted that company Titan. I wanted their products to be better than they are. They're
Right.
just not. It's such a bummer. Like they had such a great idea on that 3 different height
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
box,
Yep.
but it's shitty. It just
Yep.
folds.
Yep.
So I don't know. There's a couple of things I've tested on theirs that I just haven't been real happy with. But like the strongman world uses their stuff all the time, so it
Interesting.
seems like they're better with the kind of the outdoor strongman
Right.
equipment than they are with the finesse stuff to go
Right.
inside.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah, the reason I have half of my equipment is because of you, because of all the stuff that I've watched, and it's like how I've got the handles. That's why I have the bands. That's why I've got the wrist thingies
yeah.
the one that you had for the that go on the the battle ropes.
Uh-huh.
Those ones.
Gotcha.
And the inertia waves, and because it's all portable, and I can put it in literally it's a Craftsman toolbox on wheels that I put
Pull in there. That's
pull in
cool.
there and start unloading everything, and it's all, and it's been, everybody's loving it. And I think the first thing that I got from you was the sand bell.
Hmm.
That was one of the first pieces of equipment I saw a couple years ago, because I remember I messaged you and said, where do you get those things? That was amazing. And I use it. I bought just a 12-pound one, and most people can handle the 12-pound one, and it's been like, people are loving it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a 8, a 12, and a 16, and I don't think we use the 8 at all.
Yeah.
Very, very rarely. Yeah, almost everybody likes those bigger ones, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's nice. I was just talking to a lady yesterday, and she was like, I travel a lot. I don't think I can bring equipment. And I'm like, I know there are people out there that have these toolboxes on wheels that they haul around. We had one other individual I work with has like a Lowe's one with all
Right.
the kettlebells stacked up in there, and she's like, I gotta haul it, and get it in there, but I've got like 4 8 kilos and 4 12 kilos that she brings in with her. I think
Yep.
that's so cool,
Yep.
that's you got the options to do that kind of thing and make this mobile in a sense that, but having a home base and like having your spot where
Yeah.
you can develop your business in there. You're right on the cusp here of like making that happen, and
Yeah.
the design, the build out, having a little grand opening and all that kind of stuff. It's so fun. Like it's really a fun thing to do.
I know.
So,
I
I'm excited for you.
can't wait. I'm like chomping at the bit. It's just like
Yeah.
I told Chris, I said, this is my 4th year training, and it's my best year so far, and I'm going to be 50 this year. And I said, so I want to, like, things need to happen, like I need to have my own space. This is,
Yeah.
and there's a couple people I'll still may have to go up to the gym, because they actually use the gym, and it's got like the circuit training equipment and stuff, and so they'll come up and they like to do their circuit, like maybe after they're done with me or before, or
Dude,
I've got one guy that's like 64 and he's autistic, and you don't like to mess with his schedule or his routine too much, so he kind of has a system, and so like,
Understood.
but I mean, if I have to go up to the gym for an hour twice a week to train a couple people. It's literally a 5-minute drive from the bike shop to the gym. It's
Perfect.
Bryson City's not that big.
Gotcha. Well, that's cool. I think,
Yeah.
and being true to your word to work with those people and to keep that relationship going is very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
And
that's what it's all about, is just, keeping with that. And because if you don't have that, then you don't have
yeah.
anything.
Would,
There's
would,
no,
would that gym be upset with you moving into kind of do your own thing if people were to transition and move over with you, or?
I mean, I pay a percentage
Uh,
of what I charge once a month, like 10% to the gym owner, but she's also a friend of mine, because
okay.
I started at that gym at the front desk.
Oh,
And
nice.
I was
Worked your
teaching
way up there.
spin and was in the front desk, and I was still had a couple of clients. And then it got to a point where I had clients coming in, and then people were trying to sign up for gym memberships, and I'm at the front desk and I'm like, okay, hold on, clients, or hold on. And then I couldn't, like, I don't transition very well. So I literally, and I was wearing like the gym shirt, but then I had my own training shirt, since I'm my own business. And I'm like, okay, hang on a sec, I gotta switch shirts and sign out of this, and okay, now we're ready to go. And it was very like,
Yeah.
crazy. So I finally got to a point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I just told her, I said to the gym owner, I said, I can't, I'm gonna step out and start just training full
Just
time on
train.
my own. And it was a little bit of a transition, but she's found obviously some people to do it. And it's great because I've been able to bring in new members to the gym.
Hmm.
So some people that are training with me have then signed up to become members, so they can
Oh,
come into
good.
the gym whenever they want. So she's
Okay.
benefited from it in many ways. So,
Good.
and we stopped teaching yoga at my husband's bike shop. And so we've been sending all of those people up to the gym, to the folks that teach yoga up there. And
Okay.
so you know, it's a good two-way street. So I don't think she's going to be upset at,
Okay.
like,
Yeah, I would probably do like when you're 60 days out from
yeah,
like, oh, the
yeah,
wall's going to be done, we're going to open, just kind of
yeah,
maybe give her a hint and be like, hey, here's what's coming up in the next 2 months, and
yeah,
just so she's not blindsided by it, that kind of thing.
yeah, yeah.
But
And I think at the most I've given her like my best month. So I've given her, like, the biggest check she's gotten for me is like $269.
okay,
So, you know,
not a huge deal but knowing that you'll still have a couple clients, you'll still be going in there,
yeah,
to train
yeah.
and such, and
And
yeah,
it's also, I'll tell you, the other part of it is that me being at the gym, it's also where the physical therapy clinic is. So their whole building, it used to be like a steakhouse, and it's divided down the middle. And so one half of it is the physical therapy clinic, and the other
ah,
half of it is the gym with the circuit machines and the weight room. But me being up there, because I have a little poster up there, my little bio, people see me and stop me all the time. Like, oh, you're the trainer. Oh, you're the girl on the picture. Oh, like, I'd love to talk to you, or whatever. Like, I've been stopped in the bathroom. So people see me and they see the
yeah,
poster, and then they're like, oh, you're the person I need to talk to. So I would say 95% of my business comes from me being up at the gym and people seeing me, and
gotcha.
seeing me work with people, or the physical therapy clinic refers them to me. So it's a good place for me to not leave 100%, because
Yeah, you get new business coming
people,
from
that's
there.
where I get my business from. Absolutely.
So, question on that: is there any space potential growth for you to do what you're doing, but in their space? Do they have anything like that for you?
They don't.
Okay.
There's the gym, whole gym section. There's that 30 by 30 room where they hold their classes. So they've got yoga and Pilates and all kinds of
Okay.
stuff in there. And then there's the physical therapy clinic. So that's kind
Yeah,
of their whole.
the reason I ask is like if you come in and say 60 days from now I'm going to be gone to go do this, and they're like, why don't you just do it here? Like, you don't want to get into that position,
Yeah,
where now you're like, oh, maybe I should. But if they literally don't have an option for you, you're like, no, I need 400 square feet at least, and you don't have that, and
right.
so that's where I'm going. But you got to keep that relationship intact, I think would be good.
Yeah,
But if we really make a big push and a big effort from now until, November, December, whenever,
right.
you guys are able to do that, take you from, 20 to 23 clients, maybe upwards to 35,
Yep.
somewhere in there. And then when you make that jump over, you're in
Yep.
good shape. So it doesn't sound like financially it's going to be a huge task for you, to
Right.
transition in there. And you may need to look at separate insurance as your own business inside that space,
Right.
instead of under the one umbrella, just because of the title of your business. You know,
Right.
their
And I
insurance.
have, because right now I just have general liability
For you as a trainer.
for me as a trainer.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
you might just have to bump that, like if it's 300 a year or something, it might go to
Yep.
like 700 a year, but
Right.
you'll bump it to cover your space.
Yep.
But it's always good too to have insurance that covers you wherever you're at
Right.
and your space. So like we had ours through Hiscox, and we went from 2,500 square feet where we were into 400 square feet. And
Right.
so our number went down. The amount of people we had in there that restricted that number went down. But my
Right.
insurance follows me wherever, and it covers this spot.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
so that's a good thing to just. Most insurances, if you're with any reputable, like you didn't buy it through your Geico auto insurance, like as long as it's with a K&K or Hiscox or Philadelphia or one of the ones that does like personal training insurance, they
Right.
should have an upgrade to a studio status for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's usually not a ton. If you go
Right.
from an independent to I've got a 5,000 square foot facility with equipment and treadmills and all that, then it's a big jump.
Right.
But
Right.
if you're just bumping to a 400 square foot studio, what I mean,
Right.
like that, it'll be a couple $100 maybe, at the most.
Yeah. Yeah. So that'll be good.
Cool.
Equipment. Yep.
Okay, this ball thing doesn't exist. I know you saw it, but it has to be like.
I think you saw it. You were the
No,
one.
You saw it.
I
You
saw it
showed
on
to
a-
me, and I was like, it was like on Instagram.
It wasn't on
It
Instagram.
was
It was
an
like
Instagram or
a.
a Facebook app.
Nah, it was like Tony Gentilcore, one of the guys was demoing it, and he was like, I really like this thing. It's great. I just don't remember where I saw it
It's
at.
not on the internet. I am official great internet searcher, and it is not on the
Yeah,
internet.
you're my Joe Rogan Jamie right now.
You
You're
can find the
completely
tennis
failing
balls
me.
with a-
I've been
with a
waiting. I've been
accent.
stalling here for 15 minutes.
Trying my hardest. I've been Googling everything, every combination of word combination, ands, ors, buts, everything.
You're gonna make me do it? And I'll be able to find it. I'll be able to find
Oh my
it.
God.
It's not on here.
Oh my God.
Facebook, and go to Tony Gentilecore's page and see.
No, I don't think it was him. I don't remember.
Oh my God. You guys kill me.
All right, let
I'm
me
telling you,
try
I have
this.
Googled the world here.
I'm gonna find it right now.
You
Watch.
good luck. Good luck.
Yeah, this is all the same shit that came up last time. actually.
Yeah.
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 I have tried rubber ball.
I don't know what to call
I
it.
have tried
Rubber balls.
landmine ball end attachment, landmine attachment rubber ball, landmine ball. Well, I mean, landmine ball brings you up some sort of like nuclear.
Damn, I just
thing.
don't remember. I can't remember where I saw it.
Oh
But it's
God.
and we were looking at it. We were even watching the video, and then we're like, for sure it's gonna move. Like every time you press it, it's gonna
Right.
like inch back or whatever. It wasn't moving. So that's why I was so impressed with it. And I'm like, well, maybe they have to push it against the wall. Then it's gonna
Yeah.
rub away on the wall. It was just out in the middle of the room. All right, I'm gonna find this. Come hell or
Okay.
high water, I will
I
find
know
it.
you're like on a
Or-
mission now.
Or one of us will find it, and I'll be sure to send it over and refer it over to you. Okay, so things to suggest. So here's one thing that I think this is a great thing to do, is to get your grip strength dynamometer, your O2 sensor, your tape measure for hinge and reach, a blood pressure cuff, get all that, and to
Yep.
host a health assessment day
Okay.
where you invite all 23 clients and a friend or family member or anybody to come in, and they get like a full health assessment, a full screen done at a fitness level. So you have them do their grip strength, their O's, their resting heart rate, their blood pressure, a step test for 2 minutes, the hinge and reach to test their hamstrings. You can have them do a balance test if you want to do that. You can have them do a med ball throw or sand ball throw for distance to test their upper body strength or their power output. And between the step test, the sand ball toss, and those other 5 or 6, you get a pretty good idea of what kind of shape they're in, what areas they're lacking. Majority of people over 60 are going to be lacking their grip strength for sure, which we know is the number one, the overall, indicator of their health or not. but
Right.
also with the weak grip strength, they're going to be prone to arthritis and, neuropathy and carpal tunnel and everything else that kind of comes with the weak grip. So
Right.
that's one. The hinge and reach, or you could do the 2-minute sit to stand if you don't want to do the 2-minute step. So a lot of people aren't functional for the step. So
Right.
just watch them do the sit to stands. And it's like 2 minutes is a long time to do sit to
I
stands.
know.
So some people either don't finish, and that shows you that if their short wind cardio is not good, their long wind is definitely not good. So
Right.
that's going to give you the indicator there. So if you set up something, and we can work with like verbiage and an email, you can kind of send all your people and be like, hey, on Saturday, July 15th or whatever it is, we're going to do this, come on in. Maybe your husband's there to help you, or your,
Yep.
your daughter or whatnot. And, you kind of go through and just have someone there else to kind of back you up and be like, hey, you're going to do blood pressure and the pulse while I'll do the other ones.
Right.
And you just test 2 people every half hour or hour. And that gives you an opportunity to give back to your current clientele. They get to bring someone else in that you kind of get access to, and you can start to share your experience and your feedback with them, and they can start to get to know you. And then when you get done, you can say, hey, here's everything that I've seen. Here's your report. I can definitely help you with this, this, and this if that's something you're interested in. Here's your little hand printed card that's for a free session with me. And
Right.
I have these 4 availabilities coming up next week. If you'd like to come in and do a private session, we could schedule that now. And if they're
Right.
like, cool, let's do this day, then great. If they're like, all right, let me think about it, you'd be like, cool, you got my info.
Yep.
It gave you an opportunity to earn a referral.
Right.
But I don't like being that pushy guy that's like, well, I'll give you an extra 20% off if we sign up
No.
today. Like,
Yeah.
keep
No.
your worth. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if that's something that connects and they like it, then they'll sign up. And
Yep.
if not, they need to think about it. You got everything you need from me. You know where I'm at.
Right.
And I want to earn that business. I don't want to pressure them into a sale.
Absolutely.
But then afterwards, they're like, I shouldn't have done that. I'm really not that interested,
Yeah.
And it just never seems to work out well.
Yep.
But if you earn that client now stays with you for 3 years, right?
Oh, shit.
Right.
And we do something like this again, and then they bring in, and that's how your referral,
Right.
rewards keep building.
Yep.
And to current clients, when you get done doing that, if they referred in someone or brought someone a thank you card and a box of chocolates or whatever, you know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
You return your favor and their thank you. And if we come away with a weekend from that with 3 or 4 new clients, your average
Yeah.
client staying with you 18 months or whatever it is, and
Right.
that's $200+ a month. That's $3,600. So
Yeah.
it's worth a couple free hours of work for you to.
Oh yeah,
get
absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. And the thing, and when you keep talking about too, like their circle, like that really is working for me too, because now that I've had people for 18 months to almost 3 years, I'm getting that, like like this one client I have is really trying to talk to her husband who was at Rotary
Nice.
when I presented. And so
Good.
she was feeling sick last week. And so she sent him to her session instead of her. So he came and
Right on.
out with me. So he got to see what it was like to actually do a session with me.
There you go.
And so she's keeping working on him and stuff. And she said, I'm going to get him there because he's 67 and
He needs
she's
it.
early 50s. And she's like, she's going to keep
Oh,
going.
yeah.
And now that he's worked with me and we did a one-on-one, and then I'm meeting with the guy from Rotary tomorrow that is interested in wanting to work out and stuff.
Good.
And then I had another voicemail from a guy from the gym this morning that they gave him my business card and said that he wants to sit down and chat. So that's kind of how my business works. Like I'll lose 2 or 3 clients for various reasons because it's just their time. It's not working anymore, whatever. And then a little bit of time will go by and then I'll get like 3 or 4 or 5, interest calls or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's taken me the last couple of years to kind of get comfortable with that because at first when that started happening, I was like losing my stuff. I was like, oh my God, what's going to happen?
Panic mode.
Yeah. And
What am
so
I doing
now
wrong and why? Yeah.
Yeah. And in the summer, my business dips anyway, because when you work with mostly retired people, they have their grandkids come in, family, they travel, they do all the things.
Oh yeah.
And so I've just kind of gotten used to that. This is just the way that it goes and it's going to all end up okay anyway. So.
Good. That's great. That's par for the course for sure in this demographic and how we work.
Yeah.
And if you're you understand that, and you know you're going to have those little ebbs and flows, throughout
Yep.
the year. We can also kind of plug in some events like this that will try to stir more business for you during those
Right.
low times.
Right.
So we try to have a more level,
Yep.
approach across the board. But
Yep.
yeah, I really like doing events like this. It almost always we'd walk away with 2 or 3 new clients, and that would be for
Right.
each of us. 2 or 3 for John, 2 or 3 for
Right.
me, and we'd have 5 or 6 new members of the gym,
Yep.
that would go there. And the last, like, I don't know, 3 months, I've probably had 12 new clients that have joined on, and I think 8 of them have stayed. We
Okay.
had 4. I had one lady in Alaska that started, and she did like 3 days, and she's like, online's not really my thing. I'm not liking
Right.
it. Totally get it.
Yep.
But all those individuals came from a article I did in AARP.
Okay.
And that was
Nice.
huge, yeah. So along with this event, a nice thing to do would be like a local article on sarcopenia. You've already done your talk on it. Maybe
Right.
something that we can work on is a little write-up you could do in a local paper, or
Right.
for local news, that could be put out,
Yep.
something like that would help kind of stir business that direction too. So earning business that way, I feel like, is a much more genuine approach,
Absolutely.
than the discounted rates, the pushing of the sale, and the clock's ticking time, all that.
Yeah.
It's all just this pushy car salesy feel that I'm really not comfortable doing. And I don't,
Yeah.
you think about how people are investing. Are you investing because your friend said this person was great and you came and tried it and you loved it, or because you got the best rate possible?
Right.
Where are we looking at? I don't want to be the best rate possible. I want to be the best answer to your issue.
Yeah, and that's exactly kind of the same approach my business coach did. He had this
Good.
this acronym he used was like doctor whatever, and he followed this particular thing. But he it's the same thing. It wasn't the salesy. It was like establish that relationship and earn their
Good.
trust. And are you the answer to their problems?
problems.
Ultimately, that's what it is. They have a need. You have a way to address it, and you kind of build that relationship. And that's what
Nice.
I do anyway. I mean, when I have a consult with people, it's very loose, because it's just like, I just want you to just tell me like why you're here. Tell me about your health history. Like, what makes you think that what I have to offer, is gonna, and then, and then let's go from there. But it's more of a conversation than anything. And I just
Good.
take notes while we're chatting, and then, at some point they've probably heard about me from somebody else, and they're coming to see whether they tell me that they were referred directly or not, that there's a reason they end up sitting across from me at a table having a conversation. So it's like, okay, let's see if she's actually what this neighbor told me,
Nice.
is going to be like. So
That's great. I think that's
I'm a very informal kind of
yeah.
person. Like it's really, you're either going to enjoy working with me or you're not. And I'm not going to force you either way. Like,
I love that. I like to tell people that on like day one, like, this may not be for you. I may not be for you. And if
Yeah, and it's okay.
that's totally okay. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But like you said, in the beginning, I wasn't like that. And I was
Yeah.
like, what do you mean you don't want to train with me? What's wrong with me? Yeah.
I know. I had to let a lot of that go too, because it would just marinate in my head, and I would just go over conversations and be like, what did I say? Did I miss this step in the process? Did I leave that out? I wasn't convincing enough about that? And I would drive myself insane. And then I just was
Gotcha.
like, screw it. Like, I don't work well from a script. Like, it's just not a natural thing for me. So like, let's just have a conversation and get to know each other. And then if you feel comfortable and feel like what I've told you is what you're looking for, then we can move to the
There
next
we go.
step.
Well, I think you and I are going to work just fine together, because we're definitely.
I have no doubt.
on the same
I
page
have
on
no
all this.
doubt.
Good. So moving forward,
Yes.
I just made a few notes about an email invite, if that's something you want to do.
Yes.
For your health fair, health screen, whatever you want to call
I think that'd be perfect. Yep.
Okay, and let's work on that. And then if you want to create your need/want list for equipment, at least get it written up and started. And as you start to see new stuff, you can add it on. And then considerations for the client's kit, bands and handles and a carabiner and a door anchor or something like that. Whatever you feel like that would be kind of a base necessity. Like we have the mini bands a 4-pack of mini bands, an orange, a black, and a yellow band, the angle 90 grips, and one door anchor is $105. And it basically cost us $95. So it covers shipping, or it costs us like $92 to buy it. So it's like shipping plus like $4 that we make off of it. It's really not much. I'm not really looking to make money off the equipment. I just don't want to lose money on getting it shipped to me. You know what I mean? So
Right.
basically all of that kind of covers getting it here, me putting it together for them, you know.
Okay.
You know,
Because so you source it and you get it yourself, and then you
Mhm.
sell it to the person. So then they don't have. So you're not sending them. Here's a Rogue link. Here's an Angles 90 link.
Yeah.
Here's a thing. Here's all the things you
I
need.
used to cut, and I had all those in a note, and I would cut
Yep.
it and paste it and send it to them, and they would come back and be like, "Do I need the 2 sets of handles or just one? What carabiner?" And I'm like, "Why don't you just show up on Monday and I'll have it for you?" And they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, cool. That's way easier." And I'm
Okay.
like, "Okay." So yeah, I have a shelving system up here, and I've got
Okay.
4 sets of handles, and it was $400 investment to start, but
Yeah.
we've sold them all, and then we're
Right.
on our second set. We bought 4 more, and we
Okay.
have them here. I think
Okay.
that's a cool kit to have. And then if
That'd be perfect.
clients are like, "Oh, you have the kit here right now. I'm getting ready
Yes.
to go," and you're like, "Yeah, here it is. It's $70. 3 bands
Yes.
and a door anchor or whatever."
Right.
And then they're good. Then they have something they can utilize with you. If
Yep.
you're already doing videos and shipping them off, stuff like that, then you could build like 6 of those every month and just be like, "Here they are,"
Yeah.
and set them off. And every month you record a couple new ones, and have 2 ADLs and like 2 strength and conditioning and 2 high
Right.
intensity ones or something, and just distribute those to people as needed while they go on trips. Now you got
Yeah.
them covered while they're out.
That would be awesome because I have been just piecing it out because when people want me to record, do their workouts and send it to them, I told them, I said, it's super helpful if you actually have the same equipment, that you're not trying to make do with like the bands you got from physical therapy.
Mhm.
When I'm doing this, I said, you can do it. It is doable if you don't, but then after a while, they'll reach out to me and say, okay, what are the bands
Where
that
do I
you're
get those?
using?
Okay.
Because I can't do my whole workout with this.
Did you find it?
No, but I found no. I've concluded that product has been removed from the internet. But what I
I've been
found,
searching for this for 45 minutes.
I know.
but what I found is something equally as awesome. That is an attachment that goes on the end. That's not a ball. It's a metal thing that's got rubber on the.
Oh
end.
yeah, maybe that was it. Maybe it's
The whole time.
It's never a ball.
I could have punched you in your face.
that's it. That's totally it. Can you bring it over here so you can see it? Can you send me the one?
Oh my god.
I have to beat the crap out of you right now. On air with a witness, I am completely 100% gonna just
Yeah, that's totally it.
beat the shit out of you.
Oh my god. Keegan, go for it. Go for it.
Oh my god.
Oh.
It's a ball. It's a
I
rubber
could have
ball.
swore it was a ball. I thought it was a ball. All right, you're emailing it to me? Oh boy.
Oh my god. See,
She
this
found
in
it.
my household, the roles would be reversed. This would be me insisting that it was this thing or whatever, and telling my husband it was this thing. I swear to God.
No.
and then
Okay,
I
to
didn't
find
say.
this,
I'm always wrong,
I
so-
went to Facebook and Googled posts that you landmine with posts that you have seen under your account. I went to, and then I finally went to Instagram and just Googled hashtag landmine and was scrolling through the pictures to find all the meatheads looked at their landmine.
Did you send it?
Yes, it's called Stronger Than You. If you go to this webpage, just Google Stronger Than the letter U.com. Go to products,
There it is.
the gut wrench.
The gut wrench.
That's what this one's called. There was another picture of something similar up a second, but I was afraid to scroll because I missed it. Here it is.
Yeah, this is it. Oh look, they got colored ones and you can get logos on it.
Oh.
Oops. Oh, that's why I didn't tell my internet was connected. But I'm unplugged. Yeah, that's the same company. Stronger Than You. The gut wrench.
All right, so there's the sleeve,
Okay.
and then it's got some kind of like rubber meshy sandbag, rubber bally kind of looking thing.
Check out the making of the gut wrench.
Yeah, I'm watching the video. We're watching it right now.
Sweet Joe's nuts.
Sorry, Bob.
It's all right.
Thank you.
It's all right. I told you if it was on the
It
internet,
kinda-
I was gonna find it.
Kind of looks like a ball, right?
If it was there, I was gonna find it.
I'll tell you.
Literally, this is the conversation that takes place in our house, except that I'm you.
Well, I mean, it's not rubber; it's all metal. But
But hey,
but there you go.
bar
See, it's
part
got
is
rubber around the
it
base.
does.
of it.
See, you were
Okay.
pretty close.
So, I mean, that's pretty cool. Yeah, it
Okay.
shows how it just sits
Yeah.
there, and like
And
the video.
rubber, the metal ball rotates within that rubber. See how
Oh,
it's
that's
rotating?
why it doesn't move. Okay, I was gonna be like, this. Why? How does it not move?
Oh,
then?
it like pivots.
Yeah,
The
it-
ball
it-
pivots inside the rubber.
Yeah,
Nice.
I see.
yeah.
Yeah, and it just stays in one place. So they had all
That
these
is
guys.
so
like,
cool.
He's got weight on there too, but I even
Yep.
just for
There was
like,
a guy with a lot more weight on Instagram. So if you go to Instagram and do
the gut wrench.
or no, stronger than you.
Stronger
It's
Than
account
You
is
on-
Stronger than you on Instagram.
all right, let's go on there real quick. Go to the
Down there,
gram.
You gotta spend some time.
I'm gonna keep you. You okay? Staying on here an extra minute?
Oh yeah, my dog hasn't made a sound yet, so we're good.
Yeah, stronger than you. Oh, look, there's Grant's the person that looked at me too.
That's
No.
not.
No. Stronger than you underscore.
Oh, go to
IC.
stronger than you. Okay.
Yeah, type stronger than you. And then just
You.
below you, and now that top one.
That one.
Yeah.
And look at all the different colors they have.
Nice.
That's cool.
So like go down like the third row, there's that guy, he's got a 45 on there or whatever that is. You know? And there's the video, the fifth one down in the middle. Yeah, that guy.
You literally could do everything with that.
Yeah, and it's not moving. That was my big concern. It was like, all right, as soon as
Right.
I'm gonna get it, it's gonna start inching across the floor. You know.
Right.
Those handles, by the way, those handles are like $300. That handle, I wanted to get one of those, and I couldn't believe how expensive it was. I was like, forget it. I mean, for
So
something
do you
that I
have
would
to have a
use-
rubber floor?
I think you have to have a rubber floor. Yeah, that would
Okay.
be my guess.
Okay.
That or at least the rubber on wood or like a laminate. But
Yeah.
carpet, I think it'll just slide right along.
Oh
on the
yeah,
carpet.
no. We've got. Well, no, we have concrete.
Yeah, I
There's
would have.
carpet, there's carpet,
There's carpet
grass,
on?
carpet grass down on the 5th or 6th, 7th row, maybe more than
See,
on
this
the
guy's
right.
got it.
The
Oh
wall's
yeah,
got green
that looks like carpet. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
like right here. This one here is a girl with green or
Oh, in
maybe
green?
it's wood, I don't
Okay.
know what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So, all right. Oh, there you are. Yeah, on the turf carpet. Got
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
And all the different colors. Okay. Well,
Awesome.
Good job, honey. Let's landmine or let's bookmark this so we
Yes.
remember what it is next time I
Absolutely.
try to refer it, and I'm not looking for a rubber ball.
All right. Well, that is perfect because that would fit the space, and then you don't have to have the plates and then the weight and stuff. You just have the because money-wise, that actually is better because then you're not having to buy the plates to hold it down.
Yeah, and then you have to buy plates to put on the bar too, and so
Right.
you're like, all right, where do we go?
Yeah.
But even with just if you just have a couple different loaded bars, and then you can attach bands to the bar to your
Exactly.
foot.
Exactly.
And
Yep.
eventually we get to a point where like, okay, you can buy a couple of the small, like if I had my
Yep.
option, see my 10s, right? Those are all 10s,
Okay.
all those.
Yep.
I would get all 10s.
Yep.
That's how I would redo my weight room. I would get all 10s and some 25s that are all that size. And
Okay.
then get rid of the 35s and the 45s. I wouldn't even use those.
Right.
Because these guys work so efficiently with the T-bell,
Right.
with everything else, my range of motion stuff. I really like those.
Okay.
So you could get like 4 10s like that.
Right.
And for your clients, you want to put a couple on there and a band,
Yeah.
and then, they
Yeah.
can start getting up there. But yeah, I think that could be a cool alternative there rather than having them. The first one I bought
Absolutely.
was one of the home base ones with the thing welded in the middle of it.
Yep.
And you had to go in the corner of the room, right?
Right.
Or you put it in the middle of the room and you have to put a kettlebell on top of it so it doesn't slide away.
Yep.
All that stuff. So yeah, there's good alternatives. I think
Yeah.
that could be for small space and what you're doing. And then if you're going to travel
Absolutely.
anywhere, that's way
Yeah.
easier. So,
Absolutely. That's perfect. Perfect.
all right, moving
Awesome.
forward, we have our plans, couple things to work on. Thank you so
Yep.
much. Great job. Do you want to keep doing this Wednesday, every other Wednesday?
Wednesday works great because I'm
Okay.
always off. So
Can we do 9:30 instead of 9?
absolutely.
Would that work okay?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
right now my daughter's not in school, but she's gonna go back to school, and I take her to school on Wednesdays. I get her dropped off, and I'm usually back here at like 9:05, something like that.
Yeah.
But 9:30 will give me a little cushion, make sure I'm here.
Yeah,
We'll go
absolutely.
9:30 to 10:30, and then
Yep.
we'll be on for Select right after that. So
Perfect.
cool.
Perfect. Now I'm
Well,
slowly
great.
working my way through Select. I think I'm finally into, I don't know, halfway through April.
There's a lot. I was just talking to another trainer this morning who was asking about it, so I'm on here with a call with her, and I'm showing her everything, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm overwhelming her, showing her all this, because I'm like, look at all the video, look at all this content. I'm just like, shit, I put a lot of stuff up here, and there's a lot on there. So
It is so awesome though, and I swear to God, and I know I messaged you this, but like the anatomy thing with Dan has been the most life-changing thing I think you guys have done, because it makes so much sense in my head now.
you see it like
Like,
that?
because I did my certification online, and so all the anatomy stuff was all static, and it was just, you know, slides and whatever.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I struggled with that for the longest time, but watching this and his model and like demonstrating, and when you lift your arm and here's the muscles, and then when you guys do the exercises, it's like, and this is what it's
Still
working.
clicks.
Now I look at my people and I like can visualize the muscles and what it's doing, and I'm like, oh yeah, if you pull your shoulders down and back and you just work this is this thing. And I actually, I'm going to share this before you have to go. So my guy that's been with me for almost 3 years, we were doing upright rows the other day, and he kept getting it like up in here, and he was telling me, he's like, God, I don't know if I'm stressed or like I'm feeling stuff up here. And I was like, okay. So he's doing it, and so then I was kind of standing there myself, like trying to feel where I wanted him to feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, try to just pull it like pull it right to here, like you should feel your shoulder blades kind of move around when you do that. Like I don't feel anything from up here when I do it. So the next couple times he did it, and he only pulled it to like right between his man boots,
Mm-hmm.
pulled it to here, and he was like, oh my God, I finally, it's not up here, like I feel it where you want me to feel it. All this time I would kept trying to lift it higher and get it up here, and he did it, and every time. And then we were doing something else from the floor, and he was pulling it right to, and he was like, he left that session like over the moon, because it
Nice.
like because I was standing there
clicked.
going, I'm not feeling any of it up here, why are you? And so I said, try this, and it was like literally, it was revolutionary. Like
That's
the
cool.
change,
I love it when you connect it like that.
Oh,
Did you do our anatomy course like a year and a half ago? Did you do that one? So
running around, that dog from up there.
so Keegan
Let's him in his mouth.
Keegan was my model, and I recorded her doing a movement, and then while I would put it on repeat in PowerPoint, and then while she was going, I would use the draw tool, and I would draw in the muscle and attach it to the video while she moved.
right.
And I was showing that to Dan, and I'm like, I'm trying to teach these guys like how the lats stretch, and he goes, I have a software that just does this.
Right.
I'm like, shit. So as soon as he brought it on, I'm like, this is going to be so much better. So I'm just like, if I could just borrow you once a month, you know, so we could do this in 12 sessions going across here, we'll have everything covered.
Yep.
And then he's like, well, when we go beyond this, we can start talking about targeting each one of these, and, you know, giving kind of a, not a therapeutic component, but
Right.
like, you know, we've recognized a weakness in your glutes. You know, we can go back and relook at the glute and say at this angle and that angle, and so we're not just going to teach the basics. We'll kind of take it to a next level.
That literally has been a godsend, and the way that Dan
I'm so glad to
explains
hear
it
that.
is so easy to understand, and it makes sense, and it's just, and then you guys, when you're doing the exercises and stuff, it's like all the dots kind of connect, and
Yeah.
so that was a huge addition.
Good. I'm glad to
Yeah.
hear that.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. Awesome. All right, my friend. Well, I'll plan on seeing you. I'll probably see you here on, if you're going to be on live with us, and then I'll see you the same time in 2 weeks.
Perfect. Thank you so
Awesome.
much
Thank
for
you.
everything,
Great
not
first
just
day.
today, but thank
My
you.
pleasure.
You guys are like, I don't even have enough words for either one of you.
Well, thank you, and I really appreciate you. Number one, saying that, but being a part of this and taking the next step with us. So,
Absolutely.
so thank you. Yeah.
Thank
it's
you,
a
Robert.
pleasure to have you here.
All right.
All right. I'll see you in a little bit. Bye bye.